Most DevOps engineer don't fail senior interviews because they don't know tools. They fail because they always think like a junior, just with more experience, as you can say. And this is something I see again and again while taking interviews. So they always talk about the tools, like how CI/CD, how CI/CDs are performing, how to deploy the CI/CD pipelines, and how Kubernetes is working, how Terraform is working. So people think senior interviews are about only Kubernetes, Terraform, and CI/CD tools, but they are not. They are about how you think when system are already live. So how you are thinking, how you are planning when the system is working, system is running in production. But they don't think like that. They always think like they are having an experience, and if they will talk about the tools and everything. They have a good knowledge about the tools, and they have the good knowledge about like Kubernetes, CI/CD tools, and monitoring and everything, monitoring related tools. So this shows that they are just thinking like a junior level. They are not thinking like a senior level. So as we can say, years of experience don't automatically make someone senior. At senior level interviewers at senior level interviewers already assume you know tools. So they know you are having 6 to 8 years of experience, you are having 3 to 4 years of experience, so you already have a no good amount of knowledge related to tools. But what they are really testing is like how you handle certainty, how do you handle uncertainty, and how you reduce risk, and how do you think about failures. Like if there's something happen in the production environment, how will you think and how will you try to resolve that, and how you protect the production environment. If your answers stay at setup level, like if your answer is related to like a setup level thing, even with 6 to 8 year of experience, you will still sound like a mid-level junior. You will still sound like a mid-level person. So let's take an example. When someone asks how do you deploy on Kubernetes, so this is the question that can be asked in the interviews. If you are a junior, if your thinking is related to a junior, then in that case, junior usually talk about pods, how deployments are working, how YML files is working, and they are writing a YML codes, and they will be talking about auto scaling and all. But senior answer will always be a different answer because they will be thinking differently. They think about what happens during rollout, and what if only some pods came up. If you are doing, if your pods are having, if you are having like thousands of pods, and some of the pods came online and some of the pods did not came online, then how will you think about that? And what if traffic spikes mid deploy? So you are doing a mid deployment, and there is some traffic spike came up in the production environment. So what will you do in that case? And how rollout works in production environment? So rollback and rollout will be performing in your production environment. So as we can say, interviewers are not testing about your Kubernetes knowledge here. They are testing whether you understand blast radius, what will be the impact. It will be a high impact, low impact, and because in production environment, even a small mistake can impact thousands of users at a time, and we already know about that. If you have worked in the production environment, then you know about that. It can be impacting thousands of users at a time. Same thing we can say about CI/CD pipelines as well. Junior explain pipeline stages: build, test, and deploy. How the deployment is happening. But senior talks about guardrails. They talk about what stops bad code, and how fast rollback can happen, and what happen if your deployment is running and if it fails at 2 a.m. So what will happen in that case? So CI/CD is not about deploying faster. It's about controlling risk while still allowing teams to move. Anyone can build a pipeline, and we know that if you are having 3 to 5 years of experience, then you can build a pipeline. Anyone can do that. Not everyone knows when a deployment should not go out. So that's the main issue. While you will take an interview, you won't be explaining that, and you won't be sound like a senior engineer in that case. So interviewers can usually detect this gap within the first 10 minutes. Tools heavy answer signal mid level. If you are if you are talking about tools only, then it is already signaling that you are a mid level engineer. And if your answers are related to like outcome focused, like how will be the risk and what's the trade off, and what and the recovery pattern and recovery, then it always signals and seniority, so it always signals authority. So this is exactly what this series is about. So it's not a tutorial, it's not a certification, but how senior DevOps engineer actually think about, and like think about related to incidents, monitoring versus observability, so cost decisions and trade-off in real time systems. If you are stuck at mid level and want to grow into senior roles, this series will help you and will help you think differently about DevOps. So no fluff, no certifications, just how DevOps actually work in production. Thank you.